All right, my name is Jeremy Davies, and I am working on something that I want to share with you. It might be useful to you. It also might be that I need to look at this if I ever do this again. I am making the casket for my wife who just passed away. And let me bring you over here. I'm not going to edit this, so you're going to I'm not going to cut out the walking to and fro. This is the casket that I am making. It has the casket shape rather than just the straight edge coffin. And we have the rails. Into these rails, we can come in here. We have cut a pocket, and we can put whatever boards we need into there. We have it screwed with Craig pocket screws, and so it comes together. Now the thing from that, most of you, if you're a woodworker, you could probably, or if you know someone, you could figure out how to do this. But the challenging thing is getting this angle right. And I could tell you the numbers, but instead I want to show you how we did that. So I'm going to bring you over to the saw here. We have the fence, and we are going to set the fence up at 45 degrees. Okay? Our 45-degree angle then is in place. Then we took a 4x4 and we sliced a 45-degree angle. And on all of this, slight variations are a real problem. So what you want to do is you want to, it would actually take two, but you want to validate that your saw isn't a degree or two off. Take the time to get your angles right, and then you get a much tighter joint because we're joining three things together. All right, so now what I have is I have 45 degrees here and 45 degrees there. What you're going to do is you're going to raise up the saw, and your saw has to be kind of high, higher than you normally would want it for. Ideally, you want just a little bit sticking out, but you gotta have a significant height. Now, what I'm going to do is I am just going to pick my start. You got to plan your wood accordingly, but I'm just going to pick the start. But before I do that, the thing that I want to do, just a second, I'm going to grab a tape measure. You are going to be glad if you mark the center of your board first. Okay, so I have 3 1/4, so that gives me 1 7/8 is half. So mark your board and mark the center. I'm going to find a straight edge. It's around here. Do that at this point. It's so much easier. Okay, so now I have the center marked on my board. That will become evident in a moment. I'm going to lay this on, and I'm going to leave. I need to make sure that the point comes off the end of the board, but I'm just going to randomly cut my first cut roughly where I want it to be. So loud noise. Okay, if you notice, two things have someone. When I go over this corner, it suddenly rocks, and it's a tiny difference. Now, my blade didn't go through, but that's okay. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to throw it. Now, I will come to here, and I need to match two angles. I need to match the angle of the tilt here. And so I'm going to, but I also need to match the angle. Actually, I'll match the tilt angle after this. So I'm going to loosen this up, and I'm going to match the angle on the edge here. Turns out that We are at 34, is that right? 35, 34, right in there. Okay, I'm going to tighten that down, and I need to keep that number correct. And now I am going to match this angle. Now I know that it's 30. So what I'm going to do, okay, what I did there is I cut this off as waste because I need the space. And it doesn't matter as long as I'm cutting past this point. Okay, now I can put my saw down and I can make sure that my angle matches exactly. And I'm going to adjust it until I have, yeah, there we go. So my saw matches tight here. And I'm going to lock that in. And what I have is 36.5. And I have 30 here. So you could just take these numbers if you wanted to, but I wanted to teach you how I did it. Now I'm going to pull my saw, and I know that it's at 36 here. I'm going to tip it over to 36.5 on this side. I'm going to lock it in. Now I'm going to have to hold the guard up to make sure that I'm exactly where I need to be. And for me, I suppose I should be putting on safety glasses, but I actually have to put on cheaters, which serve two purposes. So if you look right in here, I have my point, and I'm at the right angle. And what we have here is our point. Now, what I would do is I would measure back from here to the point on the side. And what we tended to do is I would, when I cut this, I would put 1, and then when we'd cut this, we'd write 2, and then we'd flip it over, and I would have a mark, and that mark would tell me how long I wanted the rail to be, and then I would go back to the table, and I would cut this one, and then I would come back. And each one, so each of our faces was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we ended up with is a point. There's one more thing that I want to show you as soon as I find the right piece from yesterday, and then we'll be done with this. Oh, that one I cut. Here we are. This is the profile that we cut our rails in. It looks kind of odd, but because it's on the edge, then we have a flat here and a vertical here. So that's the profile. So now you could do it before or after, but now that I have the proper points on this, then I would run it through my table saw and cut this board to that profile. And then we have over there our finished, not our finished product. We still fill this in. That is basically how we make the rails. Once we finish it, I'll just talk you through the rest. We put a rail around there and we cut it to the open. And so we build the box, we put the top in, the sides in, and then we cut it, and then we put the bottom in. Maybe we'll have video of that or not. But this gets you the rails, which is gives you this classic shape of a casket. Thank you much for watching.